When I first started getting into the Ice Cream Man franchise, having absolutely no idea what it would possibly hold, showing this weird, eccentric 50s looking Ice Cream Man on the cover, it was something that really blew my mind. And while some of those earlier issues were very goofy, very silly and horrific all at the same time, the further I get into them, the further I would realize that Maxwell Prince is legitimately trying to, hurt my feelings, hurt our feelings, trying to put us in a depressive stupor in ways that I've never really seen a comic book quite do. And it's with these later issues that I really see this true and in the light like I've never quite seen before. Whether this be a junkie trying to find her last fix to kind of help her boyfriend out of a stupor, or showing somebody attending their best friend's funeral and then meeting their dad who has never been around for their entire life, only to realize that their friend and son has been burning in hell this entire time. These are stories that really tend to ramp themselves up. And it's something that I'm always fascinated to get back to on this channel, and something that I know all of you enjoy as well as me. But it's a story today that is really going to hurt your feelings. And if you leave this video without feeling any kind of disdain or any kind of happiness or utter sadness, if you leave this video without any emotion at all, this might be your sign to maybe check yourself into somewhere. Maybe a place in your life where you might realize that maybe you have no emotions. Because this would have to be one of the most saddest stories that I've ever seen written in a comic book, only seconded by yet another Maxwell Prince story, and a story that I will cover on a later date, a story that would happen to be from the hit graphic novel Swan Songs, something that I've already covered a few times on this channel. But I gotta say, this one, with the realness that it would show us, and something that can legitimately happen to just about anybody, is something truly tragic. And what the story would come to depict is essentially a man with Alzheimer's, and while it would never really say that this is the exact disease that this man would have, we would be shown a story about an old man sitting inside of a hospital room, trying to kind of recollect his life, trying to start from a young boy all the way to an adult to figure out just exactly how he wound up here, how he's never really experienced happiness in his life in his later years, and how his relationships not only with his ex-wife and with his kids ended up getting to the point of where it's at. And it's a story that I find absolutely fascinating, and it brings me to the question of what exactly is going on in Maxwell Prince's head, because he really seems to know how to nail these kind of stories, in the worst possible way, whether it's the Ice Cream Man or Swan Songs or even his clown-centric graphic novel Haha. Maxwell Prince really seems to kind of not only hit on nostalgia, not only on family trauma, or even supernatural horror. This is a man who really knows how to hit that little funny nerve right in the depression. And he's a comic book writer that every time I see in the store, I know I can pick it up because I know it's going to be absolutely amazing, even if it's in the worst kind of way, even if it's something that's legitimately going to make me sad. And after rereading this story, kind of preparing to do this video, alone in my house as my girlfriend's at work and my little brother's out fishing, it's really left me in quite a mood. And that is a mood that I would like to share with you all today. So yes, everybody, buckle up for something truly sad, something truly disdainful, and for something that you've probably never really quite seen. And like I said before, where the story will begin is in the middle of a hospital room as an old man tries to recollect his life and tries to figure out how he got here. Welcome to the story of Everything Recedes. The Gremlin, M. The Gremlin is at it. Again. The Gremlin is at it again. He's stealing mine. Morning, George. Medicine time. Stealing my memories. I've got some good news. Your son called. Gone. They're gone. They go. They're going in. He's coming to see you. Gone. Remember now. Large. Sycamore. Dogwood. Oak. I am. Was 3. Or though. Maybe 2. Maybe 2 years old. Mom, Dad lay out blank. Blanket. Mom and Dad lay out the blanket. And Annie, who is sister, cousin, friend. Annie, who is blank, reads book under tree, and everyone is happy. Early memory, earliest. But wait, there he is now. Little Gremlin. He's come to take this memory away from me. He's taking it. It's gone. How you doing, Pop? You hanging in there? Sorry it took so long for me to get out here. Me and Jen we've been having some problems. I guess she's talking to a divorce lawyer. Anyhow, I'm here, and Midge just texted. She gets in tomorrow. Never too late for a family reunion, huh? Just blink if you're comfortable, Pop. And with this terrible introduction of the story, and in a way that I've never really seen something written that would so perfectly show through the art form of just text of how this man is absolutely struggling to recall anything in his life. And upon first picking this up and kind of reading, it was something that really kind of blew my mind, as one of the most perfect ways that I've ever seen a disease like this be kind of written and actually shown in any form of media. And something that honestly I find absolutely fascinating, that Maxwell Prince would kind of have the artful writing that it would even take to kind of really depict this kind of thing in a story, and really show the sadness of it all. As well as this strange gremlin coming up and kind of snatching memories, it really would seem to be the perfect plot device to kind of depict the snatching of memories by something so terrible as this disease. And honestly, as we go through the story, I'm really not even sure if this is what exactly Maxwell Prince is trying to depict, but to me, this would seem to be the best way to do this kind of thing. But as we'd head on through the story, we would wade through more of this man's memories, starting from a young boy from the age of 3 and moving on to an older boy at the age of 10. Later, memory. I'm 10 years old. See it so clear. Baseball, dime, and diamond. Baseball, diamond. Pee Wee League with me, up to bat. Bobby K, pitching. Field, grass, dappling with suns. Dappled with sun. The sweet light breath of sun or suns. I don't know anymore. I want to hit the ball. I want a home run. Deepest feeling of deep in gut. I don't think that I ever did do that. Was always told, you're out! The little man is on the field now, taking, like he's been taking. Goodbye, Bobby K. Goodbye too, umpire. Goodbye, sweet, light breath of, hi, Daddy. And once again, we would return to reality, where finally the daughter Midge would finally show up and have some not only great news, but also being one of the plot devices in the story that would leave such an echoing form of sadness, as this man would never be able to comfort her on her new journey through these new insecurities of what she is about to do, while also showing us a myriad of different characters that we've seen through the Ice Cream Man franchise, or at least if you've actually read through some of these later issues, being this weird pink goblin-like creature who has been shown in at least 3 or 4 stories that I can recall, as well as a strange dog man that we'd see performing surgery in various other comics, like one with the man whose best friend is rotting down in hell, or the reality television episode, which both of these are things that I've covered if you'd like to go watch. But even with this father's 2 children being here to comfort him and try to make the best of this man's last days, this strange goblin that would continue to pop up and steal this man's memories would become a massive distraction, and something that would take him away from the present day to the reality and to the last final moments where he would be able to actually spend with his family. And once again, showing all the different factors of what makes this story so distressing. Jesus, why haven't they given you a shave? Look, Dad, it took the in vitro. I know you said going in alone was a bad idea, but I'm ready to be a mom. Let me ask the nurse where they keep the razors in this place. Not day, he brings. At night he brings them. His friends. Many of such similar. Many that are alike too. They are not very nice. At all. And I do not like them one bit. Recall suddenly now. One bit of a good thing. A very good thing. A very nice memory. Nicest. Kara and myself. Young lovers of each other, one another. We walk like we glide across it. The beach, the sand and the water, eating and staring at an ice cream cone. Recall smell of her, lovely, and she ran from me. Catch me if you can. Run too. I run too after her. No words cannot describe how happy I was. No. Please, don't. Not this one, please. It is my favorite one. It is taken. All is being taken. Has been took. Later, Kara and I, we could not. I'm done, George. I refuse to live like this anymore. I was unable. Did not love like one should. Was cold when I should have been different. Why? Back then, did I not? Do we have to leave too? Could not love like I should have loved. Nothing lasts forever. Just remember that. Why? So mean, cold, when all I wanted to be. I hope you're happy. Happy. I have never been. Was never again. Happy. She ran from me. Jen's gonna take the kids. And upon returning to reality once again, I would have to say this is the perfect dichotomy that Maxwell Prince has written out for us. Not only showing one of the sweetest, most memorable moments in this man's life, but cutting right to one of the most harsh and one of the most intolerable moments of this man's life. Between finding first love and through all these perfect memories of him and his wife, and just cutting straight towards the ending of this relationship, to the bitter feelings of having somebody not only take your kids, but also realizing just how much you deserve this kind of thing. And it's through this point of the story that I would believe a lot of people would have some truly touchy feelings, because this really is the true harsh reality of a lot of people's lives, where this comic book would perfectly show every angle that somebody could have possibly lived with, from not only the kids, to the wife, to the alcoholic father who would lose everything off his own volition. And it's something that, really kind of just hits me right in the feels as somebody who has kind of grown up through these kinds of situations. And it's something that I truly hope for everybody who's watching this currently has been able to work through. Whether you've lived through the worst side of this or through the harshness and the sadness of watching your parents go through this situation, I do believe that at the end of the day, everybody deserves a form of closure. Everybody deserves to have some kind of happiness no matter what the bad odds that you have done or had done to you have been throughout your life. But nonetheless, I think Maxwell Prince has probably personally touched down into some of these feelings for himself. As most writers, a lot of them will kind of manage to write themselves into their stories. As we've seen Emily St. John, or even Clive Barker kind of say, that they always happen to write their self into their fiction, into their non-fiction, into the characters that people will go on to love. And it's something that I always think whenever I kind of sit down and maybe try to write my own short story of how scary it is to kind of write your own feelings into these kind of things. Kind of worrying, who is going to kind of link these things not only from my characters all the way to myself. And it's something that I have to praise all these different authors, all these different writers for their bravery. But as we get into the story, these feelings would not stop. As we would watch his son as well as his daughter kind of, preach these lessons that he has learned, these lessons that he would regret to have ever said in his life being, told back to him, in a state where he could never tell them, that these are not the right feelings to be had, that these are not really the right solutions. And that back in the day, when he was in this position of alcoholism, or whatever kind of depressed stupor he was in, that these are things that he wished he would have never said. I guess the apple doesn't fall too far, huh? I thought I was doing everything. Stuff a person does to make a good life. But I fucked it up. Nothing lasts forever, right? Christ, I can't spend more than an hour at a time on my feet. Fucking gravity. So, Daddy, do you think I made a mistake? I was so certain. But now I'm just scared. I don't want to screw it up like you and Mom did. No offense, Daddy. None taken. Except all that are taken. Like this one will be. This is before Kara left. Before days of dark. Days of alone. Remember car. Remember smell of desert road. Entire all of whom I. Family trip. Everyone. Kara driving. Or though Kara's next seat while I do. While I am the one who drives. Backseat is. There are my children. Margaret and Midge. Margaret, Midge. Sweeter than name of flower. John, who is very same and too much similar as his father. We are going to the Grand Canyon. I know that. We are going there in this memory. Can recall like very close. Heat of air. Heat of bodies that are my family. But do not recall, as I am seeing now, him. Little gremlin. No, I do not like seeing him. I hate seeing him like this. Just so helpless. The lighting in these places. It's no wonder so many people wind up dying. You okay, Johnny? You don't seem super great. My marriage is disintegrating, and my dad, with whom I have major unresolved abandonment issues, is a lifeless vegetable with one foot in the fucking grave. I'm peachy, Midge. Thanks for asking. It's uncanny. You sound just like him sometimes. Hey, when are you due? 6 more weeks. If I last that long anyway. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing, John. Midge, come on. You're gonna be such a great mom. Even when we were kids, I always knew it. When we were kids was a long time ago, John. Oh, he's kicking. You wanna feel? Well, hello there, little gremlin. Remember thinking this thought. How accurate name of it. How grand it was. Wow. Super wow. Everything does get taken in the end. Everything goes. Goodbye. Kara went. Goodbye. Married Tim. Dan. Jason. Then got sick with. Did die of blank. Ran from me. And was gone. Wish I could have been different. Come on, Pop. Lay on down, Daddy. My children. Grown and did turn. Have become. complicated people, but also are, always will be so beautiful to me. How beautiful both my children. It's time. Let go, Dad. Do wish very deeply that they can find a way to be happy. I just realized I no longer can recall who I am or was, but do feel very certain that, indeed, I was a person who lived a life, and perhaps once felt the sweet life breath of the sun. How lucky me to have been. And this, everybody, would be the end of the story, and something that after even rereading to you guys on this channel has left me in such a weird state, and such a weird set of different emotions. This story really does convey so many different feelings, between happiness to have even lived a life where he could have had a family, beautiful people that he will always love for the rest of his life, while also showing us the sadness of all of this. We're actually showing the things that this father have said in some of the worst times in his life, and watching them kind of form into these weird paranoias that his children would kind of grow up to have and think, and actually being in a state where he could never really address these things, never really make it okay, and never kind of reassure his daughter of this pregnancy that she's going through, that she is making the right decision. All the way to just telling his son that, everything can last, and that true happiness can be had. That if only he could tell him to never take the life paths that this man has taken for himself. And it's all these different moments from being shown these family moments of them going to the Grand Canyon, to all these different memories of him being a little kid and remembering this sister or cousin or friend, or just remembering his parents setting out a picnic for him. It's these things that really, drive these feelings home, and something that honestly does leave me feeling very sad, and honestly a little bit overwhelmed. I truly think this is a story that could leave a lot of people in tears, and something that upon a first read left me feeling like I could have a good cry, because I've experienced a lot of these emotions from all these different angles, and like I said through the middle of the story, I truly think this is a story that can hit everybody in just the worst kind of way possible. Whether you're a mother, a father, a son or a daughter, a brother or a sister, all these different moments that would kind of acclimate into this very complex ball of emotions of happiness, love, sadness, and anger. And like I said before, something that I really only think Maxwell Prince is capable of writing. I've really yet to come across a man who is so able to kind of touch down on all these emotions in the weirdest kinds of ways, whether this involves clowns, junkies, or a strange metaphysical ice cream man that would kind of show himself through all these different stories in ways that we had never really quite seen before. And honestly, if I could only get an interview with this man, I would be so happy to see what exactly is going on in this man's head. Whether this all comes naturally. It's something that I'm always wondering through all these different books that I read, whether they be graphic novels, comic books, or even just novels, of what exactly and how much of it is being written from personal experience into these strange fictional characters. And as somebody who's kind of sat down and, trying to write a short story or trying to come up with a story, it's something that absolutely blows my mind how these people are able to write one thing after another, to create these entirely fictional universes straight out of their heads, whether this be Clive Barker, Stephen King, Emily St. John, Greg Bear, all these amazing, fantastic writers that have really, made a presence in my own life. And I'm sure for a lot of you, a lot of people watching this channel, I would have to assume that you are into the kind of literature side of the world, into kind of books and comic books and graphic novels. I'm absolutely positive that there has been somebody in your life who you have never met, who has written one of these utterly fantastic stories that has managed to touch you in such a deep way that nobody has ever been able to. And this would be the reason why I absolutely love reading of any kind. Obviously, I cover graphic novels most of the time on this channel, but it is the overall sense of what can be written on the page that has been something that has really been able to touch my heart. But yes, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that story. I'm sorry if I left you in kind of a bad mood for the rest of the day. I truly hope not. I really hope this episode can be just kind of a way of showing you what a master Maxwell Prince is at writing all these terrible feelings. That would be, what I would like the takeaway of this video to be for you all. But anyways, everybody, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. Don't let these things get you down. And most importantly, I would like to thank you all so much for your support on this channel. I know I say it in every single one of these videos, but a lot of you are some of the sweetest people that I've ever seen. Whether I'm creating wooden boxes, or 3D prints like I used to do, or showing you all these amazing different comic books that I've come across, silly or serious. Everybody who I've kind of met throughout the comments is pretty much much the reason why this channel continues to exist. You guys really push me forward, and you really get me inspired to make more of these videos. Something that I absolutely love, but without your help, without your viewership and your kind words, I just don't know how long I could sustain this kind of thing. So, thank you all so very much, and if you are able to, and you enjoy these stories, please go out and buy them. Please go support these amazing comic artists, even if you're somebody who doesn't read whatsoever. If you've watched one of my videos and it's something that's really resonated with you, or just a story that you really found fascinating, I implore you to go pick it up for yourself, because I always leave things out, and it's never the same of kind of sitting by yourself and reading through these stories all alone, with music on or off, and kind of creating these memories for yourself. But anyways, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next episode of From the Heart. Hopefully with something not, quite as sad, but I can't promise anything, because I seem to really have a niche, don't I? Oh my god. Anyways, everybody, once again, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next episode.